Joseph Raz stands as a towering figure in legal philosophy. His work has profoundly shaped our understanding of law, authority, and the relationship between law and morality. In his seminal book, The Authority of Law, Essays on Law and Morality, Raz presents a compelling and sophisticated account of these fundamental concepts. This essay delves into the core ideas presented by Raz, exploring his unique perspective on the nature of law, legal authority, and the moral obligation to obey the law. We will navigate the complex interplay between law and morality, examining the role of rights and duties within a legal system. Finally, we will analyze the significance of the rule of law as a cornerstone of a just society. Raz's work is characterized by its clarity, rigor, and unwavering commitment to intellectual honesty. He does not shy away from difficult questions or controversial stances. Instead, he confronts them head-on, offering nuanced and thought-provoking analyses. This essay aims to present Raz's ideas in an accessible manner while preserving the depth and complexity of his thought. Through clear explanations and relevant examples, we will unpack Raz's key arguments and explore their implications for our understanding of law and its role in society. By engaging with Raz's ideas, we can gain valuable insights into the nature of legal authority, the limits of law, and the ongoing quest for a just and equitable legal system. This exploration of Raz's legal philosophy will be particularly relevant for those interested in jurisprudence, political philosophy, and the broader relationship between law, morality, and society. By understanding Raz's contributions, we can better grapple with the enduring questions surrounding the nature of law and its impact on our lives. Consider, for example, a law prohibiting theft. From a positivist perspective, the moral wrongfulness of stealing is not what makes this law valid. Rather, it is the fact that this rule has been enacted through a legitimate legislative process that gives it legal force. This distinction is crucial because it allows for the possibility of laws that are morally flawed but nonetheless legally valid. Legal scholar Raz acknowledges that morality can and does influence the development of law. However, he maintains that this influence is contingent upon social and political factors, not on any inherent connection between law and morality. This separation allows for a more objective and predictable legal system where individuals can know with reasonable certainty what the law requires of them. Central to Raz's legal philosophy is his service conception of authority. This concept addresses the question of what gives a person or institution the right to make rules that others are obligated to obey. Raz argues that authority is justified when it provides a service to those subject to it. In the case of legal authority, this service is the facilitation of rational action. Moral philosopher, media, individuals contemplating moral choices. According to Raz, individuals are often faced with a multitude of choices and conflicting reasons for action. This can lead to indecision, uncertainty, and ultimately a failure to act in one's best interest. Law, by providing a system of rules and directives, helps to alleviate this problem. It clarifies our obligations, sets boundaries for permissible behavior, and provides a framework for resolving disputes. Crucially, for an authority to be legitimate, it must be capable of performing this service better than the individual could on their own. This means that the authority's directives must be based on superior knowledge, expertise, or information. Moreover, the authority must be motivated by a genuine concern for the well-being of those it governs. Moral philosopher, media, group of hikers lost in the wilderness. Imagine, for instance, a group of hikers lost in the wilderness. They encounter an experienced park ranger who offers to guide them back to safety. In this scenario, the ranger possesses superior knowledge of the terrain and the skills required for navigation. By following the ranger's instructions, the hikers are more likely to reach their destination safely than if they were to rely solely on their own judgment. Similarly, legal authorities, such as legislatures and courts, are entrusted with the task of creating and interpreting laws that promote the common good. Their expertise, combined with their access to information and resources, enables them to make more informed decisions than individuals could in isolation. Section 4. Navigating the intersection of law and morality.
While Raz maintains a clear distinction between law and morality, he recognizes that the two are not entirely separate realms. Law is not created in a moral vacuum, but rather reflects the values, beliefs, and aspirations of the society it governs. As such, there will inevitably be overlaps and interactions between legal and moral norms.
Morality can influence law in several ways. For instance, moral principles often serve as the foundation for legal rules. The prohibition against murder, for example, is rooted in the moral belief in the sanctity of human life. Similarly, social movements and moral crusades can lead to legal reforms that reflect evolving societal values.
Conversely, law can also shape morality. By establishing certain standards of conduct and punishing those who deviate from them, law can influence individual behavior and shape societal norms. The abolition of slavery in the United States, for example, not only outlawed a morally reprehensible practice, but also contributed to a shift in public opinion towards condemning slavery as inherently wrong.
Despite this interplay, Raz emphasizes the importance of maintaining a conceptual distinction between law and morality. This distinction allows for the possibility of criticizing unjust laws and advocating for legal reform without undermining the authority of law itself.
Consider, for example, the civil rights movement in the United States. Activists challenged the legality of segregation laws not by denying their legal status, but by appealing to higher moral principles of equality and justice. This distinction allowed them to advocate for legal change while still respecting the rule of law.
Section 5. The moral obligation to obey the law, a nuanced view.
The question of whether individuals have a moral obligation to obey the law has long been a subject of debate among philosophers and legal scholars. Raz offers a nuanced perspective on this issue, rejecting both the view that there is an absolute obligation to obey all laws and the view that there is no moral obligation to obey the law at all.
Raz argues that the moral obligation to obey the law is not absolute, but rather presumptive. This means that, in most cases, there is a moral reason to obey the law, but this reason can be overridden by competing moral considerations. The presumption in favor of obedience stems from the fact that law, in general, serves a valuable social function. By providing a framework for peaceful coexistence and cooperation, law enables individuals to pursue their goals and live fulfilling lives.
However, this presumption is defeasible, meaning that it can be outweighed by other moral considerations. For example, if a law requires an individual to act in a way that directly contradicts a fundamental moral principle, such as aiding and abetting a crime, then the moral obligation to obey the law may be overridden. Similarly, if a law is deeply unjust or discriminatory, an individual may have a moral duty to disobey it as a form of protest or civil disobedience.
Raz emphasizes that the decision to disobey a law on moral grounds should not be taken lightly. It requires careful deliberation, weighing the potential consequences of disobedience against the moral imperative to oppose injustice. Ultimately, the moral obligation to obey the law is not a simple matter of blind obedience, but rather a complex judgment that must be made on a case-by-case basis.